Hi everyone, how are you doing? Today I want to talk about entitlement eating. I had a reader write and ask me, she said, I tend to feel I deserve a treat or sweets for being good on days I honor my hunger fullness boundaries. And I also feel like I deserve extra food and sweets if I weigh on Fridays and the scale is down. Can you help me journal this better? And you guys, I used to do the same thing. I used to believe the same lies. Every day I was faithful in following my boundaries throughout the day. I thought, I deserve a treat tonight. I was so good in following my boundaries. And then whenever I stepped on the scale, I went to Weight Watchers to lose my weight. I'd be tempted to eat when I got home because I thought, I made the weigh-in. So the question is, how do you journal those? And I just wrote down some truth journals right here, and I'll just read them to you. The first one is, I deserve a treat since I've been so good all day following my boundaries. And I wrote down, if I have a treat, I won't have been good anymore. I need to keep being good all the time if I want to lose the weight and keep it off. And basically what you'd have to do, because this person said she renewed her mind once a day, you would have to truth journal every time you gave in and ate at night. So even if you had already truth journaled earlier in the day, if you gave in and broke your boundaries at night because you deserve a treat, you'd have to truth journal that again at night, because you have to get that lie out of your system and the truth into your system. Now, I don't believe that lie at all anymore, and I used to fully believe it. But the reason I don't believe it is because I truth journaled it a bunch of times. Okay, the second lie was, I deserve a few treats since my weight is down. And the truth to that is, if I eat a few treats, my weight will be back up again. And do I really want to live a life of up and down weight loss? And the truth is, no, guys, we don't want to live that life, right? That's a super frustrating life. So if you believe those lies, truth journal them every time you give in to the lie. Okay, and I'll also go through these entitlement eating questions from I Deserve a Donut, because we could use those for this situation too. Okay, first question, what do you feel like eating? Well, whatever your treat is. Second one, why do you feel like you have a right to eat in a particular situation? And we'd answer, because our weight is down, or because we followed our boundaries all day. And the third one is, do you think God agrees with your outlook on life? Why or why not? And this question always gets me. In some ways, I don't like this question because I don't like to think about that because I know it's going to convict me. But I don't think God would agree on that outlook, because I think God wants us to be super healthy. He wants us to enjoy food and have each food kind of be a treat, a time of, just enjoying the food. But he doesn't want us to live our life for enjoyment. And here's what I sometimes find. If I'm looking for a treat, like something like, oh, I have to have this great treat, I'll often be disappointed. Like the treat won't be good enough. Maybe even 9 times out of 10, the treat won't be good enough. And so if we're focused on that, it's like never good enough to satisfy us. So does God agree with our outlook on life? No, I think he'd rather have us follow our boundaries all day. And I think he doesn't want us to get discouraged about weight loss. So he'd rather have us follow our boundaries even after we weigh in, because he'd like to see steady progress, because we know we'd be happiest with that. We'd feel most encouraged by that. Now, you could have maybe a little treat if you weigh on Friday and your weight's down, or maybe just have a little treat, period, whether it's down or up. But it'd have to be a little enough treat that it wouldn't make you break your boundaries the rest of the week. Okay, number 4, what usually happens when you live by your rights and your feelings in this area of your life? Well, this woman said what happened to her. She's living a life of gaining 2 pounds, losing 2 pounds, gaining 2, and that is what happens. Because if we only follow our boundaries, 90% of the day and 90% of the week, that's enough to never lose weight, okay? That's only enough to maintain. So you feel like you're doing all this suffering and you're not losing weight. Okay, would your life be better if you gave up your rights and held life and food with open hands? Yeah, it would, right, guys? Life is really better when we follow our boundaries. The more we can lecture ourselves, lecture truth to ourselves during the day, the better we'll be. Because it really is a lie that our life is better if we indulge our every whim. That just makes us enslaved to whatever it is that our whims are, and if we like those things too much, it'll just mess up our lives. Okay, number 6, are boundaries easy to follow, or do you usually have to give up something to follow them? Well, you usually have to give up something to follow them, right? What would you have to give up to follow your boundaries this time? We'll have to give up our little treat, right? Our little nighttime treat for following our boundaries. Sad, but it's worth it. It's worth the sacrifice, guys. So number 8, what will your life and body look like a few months down the road if you develop the habit of consistently following your boundaries? Okay, so if I were to develop the habit of not breaking my boundaries at night because I follow them during the day, you know, pretty soon, what would my life and body look like? My life would look more disciplined. I wouldn't be tempted to eat something at night because I followed it during the day. I wouldn't be tempted to eat a bunch of sweets if my weight was good. And my body would also look better because I'd be consistently following my boundaries and I would lose that weight. So when you think of all you'll gain, is it worth the sacrifice? And yes, guys, worth the sacrifice, right? I sometimes tell myself now, it's not, I'm the type of person who can't eat that and keep following her boundaries. So I'm just better off not to eat it. So when there's a treat there, I might look at it, I might feel like, oh yes, I want that. Think about it briefly, not very long. But then if I just say, hey, yeah, I want it, but I'm not the sort of person who can keep eating that stuff all the time and eat with control. So it's just better off not to have it. You know what? I'd rather be healthy. I'd rather be thin than I'd rather indulge myself on treats that 9 times out of 10 don't satisfy. Okay, hope that's been helpful. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good day.